welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Ivo Graham, Ed Byrne and Ramesh Ranganathan, Angela Barnes, Hugh Dennis and Ed Gamble. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Ivo, which category would you like?
I would like home news, please, Dara.
Home news it is. The answer is 1 year. What is the question?
What would be an appropriate prison sentence for people who use the phrase hollybobs?
Not the answer, but I'll take it.
Is it how long the BBC have left now they've lost Bake Off?
And the clock is already ticking. Yeah.
Is it in a Wetherspoon's kitchen? What is the chef's equivalent of the 5-second rule?
Is it Southern Rail's estimate for a London to Brighton journey?
Do people kiss goodbye to their children at a Southern Rail station and go, you look after your mum?
Is it, how long does it take to earn 100 quid if you work at Sports Direct?
How long does it take a YouTube clip to buffer at my parents' house?
Is it... How long would Charles Manson have gotten in prison if he'd been a promising swimmer?
Yeah. Bit of truth.
Bit of politics there.
How long does Jeremy Hunt want junior doctors to work per week?
OK, so under Theresa May's education reforms, how much of a carefree childhood will children now be allowed?
Is it how long would it take to rewatch all of Dara's TV appearances from the last month?
Very good. Thank you very much.
If I make a joke about ISIS in the queue, how long will it take me to get through airport security?
OK, is that the correct answer?
I think, how long has Jeremy Corbyn been leader of the Labour Party?
It is indeed. Thank you very much, Hugh Dennis. Well done. Yes, the question I was looking for was for how long has Jeremy Corbyn been leader of the Labour Party, and will he stay as leader of the Labour Party?
He's not had a very successful year, has he? Really, he moves forward with all the dynamism, energy and impetus of a canal boat. But his followers really believe in him, to the extent that at the party conference they've now told the caterers just to provide loaves and fishes.
Jeremy Corbyn has got the look of a man who can survive 6 months on 1 Kendal mint cake.
They've always said that. Oh, but look, tens of thousands of Corbyn fans took to the street. It's like, yeah, at a Corbyn rally. Yeah. Like, it's like going to the Emirates and go, bloody hell, look at all these Arsenal fans. Like,
The problem is he's got nice ideas. He's got good, like, you know, his policies are nice and sort of cuddly and people want to support them, but he's crap at actually being a politician. Like, if it was a computer game, he would be the last character that you would choose.
But in terms they understand, what Pokemon is he?
I would say he's Lickitung. You know, just sort of, like, quite sluggish.
Yeah. I feel he's more Magikarp. A flapping fish, you know, needs a lot of candy to upgrade.
I feel like my nightmare has finally come true. It has happened. I am sitting here and I do not understand what you are talking about.
And in your nightmare, were you dressed as a member of Mumford & Sons? Or one of the borrowers.
Shade at my waistcoat?
It's a little rural for you, that particular waistcoat. Have you come into some land?
Neither he or his challenger for the party leadership, Owen Smith, would make very good X-Men. Corbyn's superpower would be sitting in a corridor even though there are seats available. And Owen Smith's superpower would be if he walks into a room, no one knows who he is.
Because Owen Smith, he looks like God's tried to make the most boring-looking man he can, and halfway through he got bored.
Owen Smith, what example did he give this week of his leadership qualities?
This is amazing, right? So he reckons he pulled his wife at an all-boys school. She was one of the few girls there, so therefore he's got leadership qualities. Now, as the only person on the panel who has been a teenage girl, let me tell you right
don't make
now,
assumptions,
right?
Angela. Little Romina had a great time at school, all right?
As the only one who's been a teenage girl, right, let me tell you now, there have been many things that have got me into bed. Right? Someone's mum having a Nissan Micra that he had full use of, you know, a haircut, a mixtape. But it's never... No teenage girl has ever written in their diary, I really like Dave's leadership qualities. Never.
I reckon what he did was he just copped off with her first, and then no one else wanted to catch Owen Smith's lack of charismaitis.
Yeah. Speaking of school, what does Theresa May have planned for schools in England?
She's going to abolish the Defence Against the Dark Arts.
She wants to bring back grammar schools, doesn't she?
Let's bring
Yes.
back the sorting hat.
Stop with the Harry Potter.
You just had a conversation about Pokemon.
Yeah, but I know a tiny bit about Pokemon. I know nothing. I would ha 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 to his joke. Then your one appeared and I went, no, too much.
What do you think the sorting hat is, Dara?
Oh, I suspect they put names into a hat and they picked things
Oh,
from.
how wrong it is.
There's nothing magical about a raffle.
Did you learn nothing in all your time as a house elf?
Was it a large plot of land you inherited?
I went to grammar school.
Did you?
I went to an all-girls grammar school, and I'm sort of conflicted because the lefty in me is pretty much against the grammar school system, but it kind of worked for me, you know. On one side, it was, you know, people weren't ashamed of academic achievement. It meant you could... but on the other side, you know, there was no cock, so...
It's very, very divisive. And generally, people who didn't go to grammar school say there should be less grammar schools, not more. And people who did go to grammar school say, no, there should be fewer grammar schools.
You know, I think those children should be together. When I was at school, it was nice, if you were struggling, it was nice to see, like, a thicker kid struggling more than you. Like, for your sort of self-esteem.
Yeah, good for you, yeah.
You sort of think, God, this is hard, but, you know, he's not even got his pen the right way around. You know, it's sort of...
Exactly.
Yeah, you get too much competition.
You're denying every child the benefit and right of having a stupid friend. Like, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have John Ashmore, who once ate a bee because we told him it was honey-flavoured.
Listen, I entirely agree with just having a friend who's just there for you to...
You see, because in Ireland we had not so much with the different schools. We had streaming within schools,
within the
which is
schools.
where you have the clever kids would go into this class and the stupid kids were thrown in a stream.
The stream ran into the forest, and so they had everything they needed.
And it appeased the goblins who lived in the forest and ate the stupid children.
Did you have the 11th?
Apart from the few that escaped and joined boy bands.
I think whatever we think of it all, it's going to happen because Michael Gove has come out in support of it. Do we not agree with that?
Michael Gets Things Done Go.
Michael Gets Things Done Gove is back, getting the campaign loads of publicity, totally discrediting the experts, pushing it through, winning the campaign, knifing all the opponents, and then knifing himself for good measure. Yes, please. Welcome to grammar schools.
I was a teacher. When we had, like, top-achieving kids, I didn't bother, you know, like, if they finished their work, I don't, like, go or have something more different. Just go continue and remain quiet, and I'll deal with the other pricks that can't do any of this. Do you know what I mean? If anything, your proximity to me is going to damage your grades, potentially.
Comedy's gain really was teaching's loss.
What is the latest thing that school children have to worry about?
Is it Romesh going back to teaching?
It's nits.
It's nits. It's super nits.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why they've got too many nits, is because they're all sharing the same hat to decide which house they're going to.
I feel bad about not knowing this, except it is from a children's book.
Oh, it's about 40 pages into book one. Knock yourself out. I'm not going deep on Order of the Phoenix here.
Whereas something like Robot Wars is really adult, isn't it?
Sorry, no, nits. What's why?
Apparently they're quite resistant to you know, the shampoos that used to kill them in our day.
Back in the day.
Although I don't think even you had to worry.
I
lovely lustrous hair. Walking around like a housing estate for the Nits. So I
Now
just
you're
need
walking
to...
around like a country estate.
Too many burns coming across me. I'm getting singed.
I think people need to adjust their thinking when it comes to nits and just don't think of them as something you need to kill. Think of them as like pets. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, if a kid comes home from school with the guinea pig, you don't go, kill it! Oh, it's resistant to this particular tennis racket. No. You go, oh, look, guinea pigs. You think of it the same thing with nits. You go, no, look, it's great. No, that's not an infestation. That's a flea circus.
Yeah, but the difference is the guinea pig is in a tank. It's not hiding up your arse. Like, the nits are a parasite. They're actually on your system. You can't go, we're having a little fun thing here.
And then it makes you scratch, makes you look thoughtful.
I wasn't allowed pets. I would have loved it when I was little. The best I could do was I got a fly, right, dunked it in some water, ripped out one of my hairs, tied it to the fly. When it dried out, I had a fly on a lead. That was my pet.
And she went to a grammar school.
At the end of that round, the points go to Roisin and Ivo. Now we play a round called Bake Off as Mocked Off. This game involves Ivo Graham and Ed Gamble, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel, please. And the topic is technology. Ivo.
I think our generation were a bit of a crossover generation when it came to modern technology. So, for example, I had access to computers as a teenager at my school, but not proper video games. So the video games that I played as a teenager were the ones that came free with the computers. Whew. And let me tell you what a rock and roll mid-noughties existence that was. Those long afternoons on my own spent playing Minesweeper, playing pinball, and trying to scroll down all the way to the bottom of Microsoft Excel. Not strictly a video game, but when you're lonely enough, still feels like an achievement. And I'm proud to stand here now and boast in front of you all that I've completed Excel and lived to tell the tale. I've gone where few mortals dare to tread, all the way down, all the way right. Written my name in that bottom right-hand Excel cell. I won't tell you what that cell is called, 'cause it would blow your minds. Spent a joyous moment just hovering over Control-P and just imagining the carnage. Did I have the balls? The sheer granite testes to print off the entirety of Excel on the school paper supply. I didn't in the end, but the thought experiment was enough alone. Then in my last year, we got a games console, our first group video game, Mario Kart. If you're not familiar with it, it's the greatest video game and thing of all time. Since tried intercourse, still prefer Mario Kart. Mario Kart, you're actively encouraged to finish first. And if you do, there's no shame.
Well done, Ivo Graham. OK, that leaves us with Ed. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is relationships. There you go.
I am in a serious relationship. That's what she makes me say. Serious. I'm in a serious relationship. This is my partner. Sounds like you're in a law firm, is what it sounds like. Serious relationship. Sounds like a disease. How's your relationship? I'm sorry to say it's serious. I'm not in a serious relationship. I'm in a silly relationship. You tell me if you think this sounds like a serious relationship. The other day, me and my girlfriend were having a discussion about the Beatles. At some point during that discussion, she forgot George Harrison's name. Now, she previously knew George Harrison's name, but her brain did something to her that all of our brains do to us now and again. It just deleted a fact for no reason. And it panics you when that happens. You think, am I going mad? Am I going senile? You go on a spiral of panic and worry, and I could see she was worried. And any good boyfriend in that situation would have told her George Harrison's name, and I am a good boyfriend. But I am a better comedian. So what I chose to do in that situation was write down every guess that she took at George Harrison's name. I have memorised them, and I'm now going to recite them to you, the good people of Mock the Week. Here we go. Guess number one. John, Paul, Ringo, John. There it is. She thought there might have been two Johns in the Beatles. Maybe the Beatles were a double John band. And as if we'd remember them in that order, we wouldn't go John, Paul, Ringo, John. We wouldn't bookend it with Johns. It would be John, John, Paul, Ringo, John, John, or Paul, Ringo and the Johns. She knew that was wrong immediately. I squawked in her face. Guess number 2. John, Paul, Ringo, Joseph. Hello, Joseph. What are you doing in there? I didn't realise the Beatles were a nativity-themed band. 3 guys with 60s hairdos, 1 child with a tea towel tied to his head. Again, she knew it was wrong. I was on the floor already. Then her brain gave her a little free pass, gave her a clue, gave her the surname. Thank you, brain. John, Paul, Ringo, Tony Harrison. Oh, Tony, you're not part of this conversation. Please remove yourself from the vicinity immediately. I said, you're half right. You're half right. I promise you, her next guess was Harrison Ford. Thank you very much.
Bravo, very good. Get that round. The points go to Ed Gamble. The next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topic and image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Is this a picture of what Donald Trump refers to as patient zero?
Worst Stevie Wonder tribute ever.
Peter Stringfellow emerges from another cracking night at Angels.
Hands up if you made a bracelet out of some spare handbag chain.
By the reflection in her glasses, she appears to be looking at a tornado of some sort as well.
She's trying to prove she's not an ageing candidate, but she's left her napkin tucked in from dinner.
That soup gets everywhere, doesn't it?
Because people have been saying she's using a body double, haven't they? And I think, well, it's nice to see Judy Finnegan back in work.
I think the answer you're after...
Yes, Hugh, what is that?
That is Hillary Clinton.
Thank you very much, Hugh. Yes.
She's mocking Donald Trump with her normal-sized fingers.
Yes.
Look at these.
Yes, this is a picture of US Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton in New York, where she was taken ill this week after being diagnosed with pneumonia. Is this like a huge bump in the road for her?
Well, yes, because people say, oh, no, she's got a cough. Let's elect a racist instead.
Because he's done many things, but he hasn't coughed recently.
Yeah, I this idea. Even if she's dying, even if she's dead, we're better off electing her. I have pulled stuff out of my shower drain that would be a better president than Donald Trump and would look better on his stupid head.
I think it's very shrewd of her to get a disease that Trump supporters definitely can't spell.
He's furiously looking to N in the medical dictionary. Maybe there's a K in front of it.
Trump's got to be careful, like, you know, just keep going on about her health all the time. Look at him. Like, if a heart attack was a person, it would look like Donald Trump.
But that's the problem, because you've got older candidates. I think she's 68,
yep.
He's 70. Not like in England, obviously. Cameron can get in. He can rip the country in half for the sake of a power play, and boom, he's back on the after-dinner circuit before he hits 50. Nice.
What are the claims that have been made about Hillary's health?
That they're using a body double.
Yes, exactly. She's using a body. She's 2
yeah,
weeks,
that it's not actually Hillary. And I think, well, you know, it wouldn't be the first time that she's got someone else to do the difficult jobs for her, would it? Monica Lewinsky. Yeah.
Thank you for the clarity, brother.
Thank you. So I'll just spell that out.
Yes, various claims, you know, because God love us, it turns out the internet is full of people who have these theories. She's had several strokes, apparently, and suffered some seizures, that she wears adult diapers. The National Enquirer claims she'd be dead in 6 months last September. A Republican congressman said she had special needs and was mentally impaired. Forensic pathologists suggested she was being poisoned and that she has multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, HIV, vascular dementia and lupus. These are all claims made about
all
it.
that taken into account, she's looking fucking amazing.
She is.
Donald Trump looks like he's using a body double and it's inside of him trying to get out.
What surprise move did David Cameron make this week?
Well, he's resigned, hasn't he?
He has resigned, yes.
He's resigned, he's found a facial surgeon, he's moving to Paraguay and he's hoping the Remainers never find him.
But That's the thing about his resignation. They said to him, "Why have you resigned?" Always asked, "Why have you resigned?" And he said, "Because I no longer want to be a distraction to Theresa and what she's doing with the government." But we didn't know. I didn't know you were still operating, mate. It's like it's just sort of pretending that Theresa, Theresa, Theresa. Theresa! 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 I don't want to distract you anymore.
So I say, I couldn't possibly come to your wedding. It's your special day.
But he said that if Brexit won, he'd stay on as Prime Minister.
He did.
And then he didn't. And then he said, well, he'd stay on as an MP. And then he didn't. I'm starting to think politicians can't be trusted.
He's done exactly what I would do in this situation, because he did say, I've been thinking about it all summer and I've decided I'm going to stand down. No, you've taken all the holiday pay and you've quit on your first day back.
And now the great legacy bullshit starts with the gay marriage. Oh, gay marriage. Don't forget I did gay marriage. That was mine. Gay marriage. Not food banks. Not food banks. Shh, food banks.
I read an article where they were like, one of his ups was the Olympics. I don't think he can fully take credit for the Olympics. Just go, that's just a good thing that happened when he was in power. He can't go, well, of course, Adele's last album, I was there for that.
In other news, what's going on here?
Oh, is this the first shots of Channel 4's Bake Off?
Well, they had to get somebody to do it. By the way, any comments we make about Bake Off, this is done on a Tuesday. Things are just all breaking now. Mel and Sue now are not doing it. Who knows who's going to be doing it? So it's a situation that we don't know by Friday. But can I just say I'm really excited to be taking it over. I think Mel and Sue will always be, in my heart, the original presenters and the best. But I just think there are other directions we'll go in, but they'll always have, well done them. But anyway, so we're back in Channel 4 next year. Boom, boom. OK.
I find it quite insulting that you've even made a joke assuming that you take it over when I've actually hosted episodes of the Bake Off. I've actually done it!
Yeah, for charity. I do it for money. So anyway, no, sorry, this picture, please.
Is it Michael McIntyre meets his new PR team?
We washed 4 of these uniforms in normal washing power and 1 in brand new Daz.
What has Kim Jong-un banned in North Korea?
I would guess, looking at that, spaghetti bolognese.
At the end of that round, points go to Andrew Hewlett. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a children's book.
Mr. Stubborn wouldn't leave. He was the elected leader of the Labour Party.
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow you, Keith Vaz.
As Noddy looked at his new friends, Rampant Rabbit and Linda the Love Egg, he realised he was in a very different kind of toy town.
And all the animals of Buttercup Farm celebrated because Percy Pig was going to the slaughterhouse and they never had to listen to that whiny little bastard again.
And the beautiful woman was cursed to sleep for 100 years. And that's your defence, is it, Mr. Cosby?
She didn't do it. Don't boo her.
I'm Paddington Bear from Peru, said Paddington. And if you show me where the toilet is, I'll poo out this condom of cocaine.
It's the absolutely horrific follow-up to Netflix and Chill. Swallows and Amazons.
And was there a happy ending? Well, the prince did love massage parlours.
I will never tell you my name. You will have to guess my name, said Rumpelstiltskin, really holding up the queue at Starbucks.
From under the bridge came the voice of the troll. Where? Women can't be Ghostbusters, send!
Every day, Jack and Jill have to walk up a hill to fetch just one pail of water. But for just £5 a month...
Oh, it wasn't a giant peach after all, thought James, as he watched the big friendly giant put on his swimming trunks.
He pushed aside the clothes, and there, at the back of the wardrobe, found a magical land of nipple clamps and lube.
There's an Indian in the cupboard. I think he's hiding from UKIP. Oh, well, come on,
I've been in this cupboard for bloody ages.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a quiz show.
You've already used your 50-50 to narrow down the options to A, in, or B, out. Mr. Cameron, are you sure you want to ask the audience?
Well, in that round on sexually transmitted diseases, you passed on 4.
We asked you for things that start with an E. You said, a great night out with the lads.
Welcome to Britain's only quiz about birds of prey. Fingers on buzzards, please.
Here at The Chase, we just want to reiterate that our chase is not called the Dark Destroyer for any ethnic reasons. Now, please, could you welcome our new chaser, Raj the Head Wobbler Patel.
So the final round on OAP quiz is sudden death. Boom!
Welcome to Eggheads. Well, we couldn't call it smug pricks, could we?
Welcome to Tipping Point, for people who are too thick to follow the chase.
Name, Keith Vaz. I mean, Jim. Occupation, MP. I mean, washing machine salesman.
I'm afraid we're going to have to take your first answer, so let's see if the capital of Azerbaijan is fuck if I know.
Is that your final answer? I'll marry someone else then.
Well, at the end of this week's episode of University Challenge, the scores are Durham 170, Exeter 145. But, of course, the real winner is Ivo's dad, Hugh at home, who got 2 questions right and is going to bang on about it for the rest of the bloody week.
Well, we've given the contestants their meth and sent them to Hampton Court. Welcome to the Crystal Maze.
My chosen specialised subject, your wife. Yeah, you heard me.
I've started, so I'll finish.
Well, that was the banker, and he says he thinks you're going to accept this deal because in his box is your wife.
Well, today it's Kelly Brook and Joey Essex versus Stevens, Hawking and Fry. This is fucking pointless.
At the end of that round, the points go to Rubbish, Ed and Ivo. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ivo Graham, Ed Byrne and Rubbish Ranganathan. Commiserations to Angela Barnes, Hugh Dennis and Ed Gamble. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.